The massive Black Friday eShop sale is in its final days, and there's lots of great games on sale. This video is my complete guide to what I consider to be the best deals and highlights from the sale. I've gathered up a bunch of additional deals for you, plus I've included all the remaining active deals. It's all included here in this one huge video. Needless to say, there's a lot here, so don't be afraid to use the timestamps I've provided down below in order to help you navigate the deals. With all that said, for those celebrating Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful day. Eat lots of food and have fun. And for those who do not celebrate it, well, I hope you have a wonderful day too. Okay, let's dive into all the deals. Vitamin Connection is a game that is exclusive to the Switch. Developed by developers WayForward, it's a game where you need to use a Joy-Con controller in order to operate a vitamin capsule-like ship that looks pretty much like a Joy-Con in order to wipe out viruses from the body of a host. You need to zap down these pathogens, as well as use the vitamin ship's abilities to navigate through environments. This game takes advantage of the Joy-Con controllers in some pretty interesting ways, especially when the game is played in 2-player co-op. In that mode, one person uses their Joy-Con vertically in order to move and shoot, while the other one holds their Joy-Con controller horizontally in order to rotate and aim. It's a pretty fun game. It's a neat mashup of shoot-'em-up, puzzle, and adventure gameplay mechanics. There's a demo on the eShop to check out if you're curious. It's on sale for just $4.99 on the US eShop. It's 75% off on all the eShops for Black Friday. That's the biggest discount it's ever received on the eShop. Another nice, cheap pickup is Tales of Iron, an action RPG with a neat art style. This is a Souls-like game where you play as a young king who happens to be a rat as he attempts to defeat the invaders to his kingdom and save his family. You'll need to use a variety of weapons, each with their own advantages and disadvantages, such as spears, swords, and axes, as you time your strikes and defense against enemies and bosses alike. This is a good game, very challenging, but if you like Souls-likes, then it's worth checking out, and it's real cheap to pick up from the sale. It has its biggest discount yet on the eShop, 85% off, which means it's only $3.74 on the US eShop. The hit indie game, Unpacking, is a cozy game all about pulling items out of boxes and making them fit into rooms of a new home. As silly as that might sound, and it does sound silly, this game is loved by many for being a chill game that is just simply good to play after a long and/or stressful day. This game is the ultimate distressor, and you know what? We could all use a game like that. As you unpack the items and fill in the environments, you will also discover a story behind those items and the character who owns them. It's on sale for Black Friday with its biggest discount yet on the eShop, 60% off, which means it's $7.99 on the US eShop. Heave Ho is a multiplayer game where you can team up or compete against others in levels where the goal is often to try to reach the goal line in a stage. In order to do this though, you need to grab onto ledges and objects, as well as very often, grab onto others in order to try to navigate the stages. It's all easier said than done, and you know what? That's the fun in Heave Ho. Trying to figure out how to complete these stages and work together, and of course, you're going to expect some disastrous, yet funny results at times. This is a nice couch co-op game, perfect for the get-togethers at this time of year, and best of all, it's super cheap to pick up from the eShop. At 65% off, it's just $3.49 on the US eShop. It's worth it if you're looking for some good laughs with friends and family this holiday season. Kaiju Wars is a strategy/puzzle game where you're tasked with holding off kaijus from destroying everything in their path. You need to strategically use a variety of weapons, such as lasers, freeze rays, and even transforming mechs in order to try to hold them off from all their monster mayhem. This game includes a full story campaign to play through, in addition to tactical puzzles to solve and weekly challenges, as well as you can create your own missions. If you like strategy games, then this one is definitely worth a look. This game is pretty good, it's got a healthy amount of content. It gets its biggest discount ever during the Black Friday sale, 75% off, which means it's only $4.99 on the US eShop. In moving out, you are tasked with moving furniture and other items as an employee of a moving business. You gotta grab and move key furniture and items and place them in the moving truck. While that may sound simple, the catch is you gotta do it pretty fast, while also navigating through some crazy environments. You might need to do things like bounce objects off of things, and maybe bust out a window or two in order to get the job done. While this game is perfectly playable in single player, multiplayer co-op is where the game really shines, as you need to work with others in order to complete these moving tasks. And trust me, that's going to lead to lots of hilarious moments. This is extremely cheap to pick up from the sale. It's just $2.49 on the US eShop. It's a no-brainer at that price. Hardcore Metroidvania Blasphemous 2 is just as good as the first one. No, actually, it's an even better game. The challenging combat returns in this one, but luckily, there's loads more customization options, weapons, and skills to obtain, so you can bring that fight right to those grotesque monsters and demons that await you. If you've been waiting for a good sale for the sequel, now is a good time. It's on sale for 67% off. That's the biggest discount yet for the game on the eShop. It's less than $10 on the US eShop for the first time ever. Sonic Origins Plus is a collection that contains the first 4 titles in the main Sonic series. Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD, along with new content and features such as new animated opening and ending sequences, bonus characters, added modes, challenges, and lots more. Plus, this collection contains 12 Sonic Game Gear titles, including the Sonic Drift games, the 8-bit Sonic platformers, Sonic Spinball, and Tails Adventure. The collection is on sale for 65% off. It's $13.99 on the US eShop. River City and Technos Arcade Classics is a collection of Super Nintendo and arcade games from Technos' past game catalog. This is a companion collection to the NES and Famicom collection that was put out years ago called the Double Dragon and Kunio-kun Retro Brawler Bundle. This collection includes 12 games, from action games to party games to even RPGs. The games included are Super Dodgeball Arcade, River City Renegade for the Super Nintendo, Kunio's Dodgeball Time for the Super Nintendo, Downtown River City Baseball Story for the Super Nintendo, Kunio's Odin, a puzzle game for the Super NES, Zaned Selena, a run-and-gun style game for the arcade, China Gate, which is another arcade game, the beat-em-up arcade game, Shadow Force, the Combat Tribes for the arcades, as well as the Super Nintendo versions included too, as well as it includes the Super Nintendo games Seguro Quest and Dun Quest, which unfortunately, for those last 2 games, they are in Japanese only. That's a shame, but the other 10 games I can vouch for. They are fun for the most part. This collection includes online multiplayer support and quality of life features. The collection gets its first discount on the eShop, 30% off, which means it's $20.99 on the US eShop. River City Goals 1, 2, and 0, plus Double Dragon DLC Bundle, contains the wonderful beat-em-ups from Way Forward, River City Goals, as well as its sequel, along with the Double Dragon expansion too, as well as it includes River City Goals 0, the full localized version of this Super Famicom game. The bundle includes everything for just $29.99 on the US eShop, 60% off the bundle's normal MSRP. That's some massive savings compared to what everything is usually. If you just need one of the games, or the DLC, it's all on sale too, with most of them going for the lowest prices ever on the eShop. But yeah, if you don't own any of these games, and you like beat-em-ups, then I highly recommend the bundle. It is a solid set. Classic games Heretic and Hexen are back in a new bundle, with bunch of goodies and enhancements. The Heretic plus Hexen bundle includes Heretic, Shadow of the Serpent Riders, Hexen, Beyond Heretic, and Hexen, Death Kings of the Dark Citadel. Plus, it includes 2 brand new episodes, for a grand total of 117 campaign maps and 120 deathmatch maps to play through. In addition, the games have online cross-platform multiplayer support, local split-screen support for deathmatch and co-op play, as well as in-game mod support and loads of accessibility options, quality of life improvements, and various game fixes for the games. Simply put, the games have never looked better nor been presented any better than this bundle. This bundle is the best way to play these games now. The bundle gets its first sale on the eShop 33% off, which makes it $10.04 on the US eShop. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom for Switch is an excellent JRPG, but it's even better on Switch 2. The game is fantastic on there. It gets boosted to a solid 60 FPS throughout, and it looks pretty amazing on there. If you got the new system and you need a good cheap JRPG fix, then pick this game up. At 84% off, less than $10 on the US eShop, this one is a good bet. Action/fighting RPG Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 will never seem to go away. It keeps getting updates year after year since its very first release way back in 2016. We're talking about almost 10 years of updates. The game just received a huge update as well as a big DLC update just this past October that adds new characters and missions. If you ever wanted to pick it up for the Switch, the best bet is getting the Deluxe Edition, which includes the game along with the DLC Super Packs 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as it includes the Legend Patrol Pack. This will give you a nice head start with a bunch of DLC goodies to play with. The Deluxe Edition is on sale for just $9.99 on the US eShop. That's 75% off. This is a pretty awesome deal for Dragon Ball fans. If you love the mystery dungeon games, or games of that style, then the Shiren The Wanderer series are games you should definitely check out. The first one, The Tower of Fortune and the Dice of Fate, is a very good one, and it's super cheap on the eShop right now. It's on sale for 80% off on the eShop, $3.99 on the US eShop. Then there's the Mystery Dungeon of Serpent Coral Island, and this one's the latest game in the series. This one contains the same familiar gameplay, but adds new and returning monsters, as well as new mechanics and a complete UI overhaul. This game gets a massive discount for Black Friday, where it gets knocked down to just $17.99 on the eShop. If you like adventure games with some Japanese flair, then the AI The Summoning Anthology series is right up your alley. The first game is 80% off on the eShop, which means it's just $3.99 on the US eShop. It's a good game, filled with lots of mystery and a little bit of horror vibes, but it also has a lot of humor too, which is a trademark of the series. The sequels are on sale too, with Nirvana Initiative being on sale for 75% off, $9.99 on the US eShop. The third game in the series is discounted by 30% off, so it's on sale for $27.99 for the first time ever. It's $27.99 on the US eShop. That deal is the same for both the Switch and Switch 2 versions. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim for Switch is on sale for its biggest discount yet on the eShop, 67% off, which means it's $16.49 on the US eShop. This doesn't include the anniversary update, but hey, if you don't care for that, then here you go. It's the cheapest it's ever been on the eShop. As a reminder, this version does include amiibo support, as well as some Zelda gear, so you can make this game feel like it's some kind of Legend of Zelda spin-off or something. Jitsu Squad is a really fun game that combines beat-em-up gameplay with many elements of fighting games. Attacks, moves, and combos in this game can be performed with typical fighting game style inputs, as well as you can tag out with other fighters to perform additional combos. There's a nice amount of depth to the gameplay versus other beat-em-up games out there. This is a really fast beat-em-up, it's got lots of style, visually it looks great, it also has a really nice soundtrack, it has support for up to 4-player local co-op, and more importantly, it is just a blast to play. It's on sale for its biggest discount yet on the eShop during this Black Friday sale. It's got a discount of 85% off, which means it's just $4.49 on the US eShop. It's a no-brainer at that price for anyone who likes beat-em-ups. Cotton Fantasy is the newest game in the Cotton Shoot 'em Up series, and it just might be the best game yet. This game has a lot of replayability. This time around, in addition to Cotton herself and her classic magical powers, there's a bunch of other characters you can play as, each with their own unique shots and gameplay mechanics. Additionally, you can choose your own path through various stages each time you play, and there's new stages that you can unlock as you progress. This shoot 'em up is a blast to play, and at 92% off on the eShop, I consider this one a no-brainer for those who want a good shoot 'em up game on Switch at a dirt cheap price. At $3.19 on the US eShop, it's a freaking steal. The Ninja Saviors: Return of the Warriors is a remaster of the Super Nintendo title that was a sequel to the classic Taito arcade game. Just like the arcade game, it is a side-scrolling beat-em-up. This one expands a bit on the formula, with a more varied moveset for each of the characters, as well as a bigger variety of enemies to face off against, and more varied environments to play through. In short, it's a sequel that improves upon everything from the first game. The remaster looks great with the new visuals, it adds new characters to unlock, and it further expands on each character's moveset. Plus, it adds difficulty options and a new soundtrack to boot. Oh, and it does have 2-player local co-op. It's always a plus. This is a great remaster. It's on sale for 70% off, which means it's just $5.99 on the US eShop. Shadow of the Ninja: Reborn is a remake of the classic NES game from Natsume, and it's really freaking good. While Ninja Gaiden is the ninja game that gets most remembered from that 8-bit era, the NES original of Shadow of the Ninja was just as good with some tight gameplay that is challenging, yes, but oh so much fun. Plus, you can play with another person in co-op play. The remake retains the classic gameplay for the most part, but it now sports a new 16-bit graphics art style that looks really good, and the soundtrack has been completely redone with contributions by the original composer. Additionally, this remake features an entirely new stage to play through too. Right now it's on sale for 50% off on the eShop. It's $9.99 on the US eShop until December 7th. There's a number of retro releases from publisher indie games that are on sale for $3 or less on the eShop. The port of Cotton 100%, the Super Famicom entry in the Cotton series, is on sale for just $1.99. $2 is a good deal for a solid 16-bit shoot 'em up. Panorama Cotton is also $1.99. This was a rail shooter for the Sega Mega Drive. This was actually a pretty impressive game for the console with its use of its 3D effect. Clockwork Aquario is $1.99 as well. This arcade game, originally developed by Redstone, the developer who worked on many of the Wonder Boy games, was originally supposed to release back in 1993, but the game got shelved for many years. After 28 years, this game was restored to a completed state for modern consoles. It's a pretty fun platformer that's totally worth throwing $2 at. Ultra Core is $1.99 on the US eShop. This run and gun game was developed by DICE, yes, of Battlefield fame. And this was originally supposed to come out in 1994, but it was shelved, sort of like Clockwork Aquario, with the Mega Drive version finally getting released in 2019. And that's pretty much the version that we have here. Its gameplay is similar to the Turrican games, which I'll be talking about very shortly here. Puzzle Bobble / Bust-A-Move, the 16-bit console version, is $2.79 on the US eShop. This contains the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom ports of the classic puzzle game. Cannon Dancer, otherwise known as Osman, is $2.99 on the US eShop, a big discount from its MSRP. The gameplay in this one is similar to Capcom's arcade game Strider. In fact, many ex-Capcom employees worked on this one, and it was pretty much designed to be a sequel to that game, just not in name. This is very good, and it never got a console port until very recently. Ninja Jajamaru, the Great Yokai Battle Plus Hell Deluxe Edition is a collection of 6 games. It contains the newest game in the series, Ninja Jajamaru, the Great Yokai Battle, with its Plus Hell update, which is a fun, modern arcade-style game, as well as a retro collection that contains a number of classic games. The retro games included are Ninja Jajamaru-kun from the Famicom, Ninja Jajamaru's Big Adventure, also from the Famicom, Ninja Jajamaru's Operation Milky Way, which is a Famicom game that sort of plays like Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Ninja Kid from the Super Nintendo, and Ninja Jajamaru, The Great World Adventure for the Game Boy, along with a brand new colored DX version of that. All the games here are fully playable in English. The bundle is only $2.99 on the eShop, and that's a pretty insane deal. It's a no-brainer to pick up from the sale if you like retro games. Additionally, there's a smaller retro collection of the Ninja Jajamaru RPGs called the Lost RPGs. This contains 2 games, Ninja Jajamaru, the Ninja Skill Book, a more traditional, almost Dragon Quest style game, and Ninja Jajamaru, The Legend of the Golden Castle, which is a mostly action RPG style game, with some 2D Zelda-like gameplay elements. The games in this collection have been fully translated into English for the first time ever. It's on sale for $2.99 on the US eShop until December 7th. Space Invaders Forever contains 3 of the more modern releases in the Space Invaders series. It has Space Invaders Gigamax for SE, which is an up to 4-player multiplayer game where you team up with others to take down the invaders. It also has Arkanoid vs. Space Invaders, which combines elements of both arcade classics in a fun, eclectic game. And finally, it includes the very awesome Space Invaders Extreme, which is included here in a HD remastered release of sorts. Space Invaders Extreme takes the Space Invaders classic gameplay and dials it up to 11, with lots of fast-paced action, power-ups to obtain, boss battles, and much more. Space Invaders Forever is on sale for a big discount of 80% off. At $5.99, it's a good deal for this collection. Hell, it's worth it for Space Invaders Extreme alone. Now, it is worth mentioning that if you want a more complete Space Invaders collection, there is the Space Invaders Invincible collection, which includes these 3 games, plus the black and white and color versions of Space Invaders. Space Invaders Part 2, Space Invaders Part 4, Super Space Invaders 91, Lunar Rescue, Space Cyclone, and Space Invaders DX. I feel it's a bit pricey though, in my view, even with it being discounted to $17.99 on the eShop. Unless you're really into those older games, I feel the Space Invaders Forever collection is the much better deal. While the Turrican Flashback collection is on sale for cheap for Black Friday on the eShop, my recommendation is if you're going to get the Turrican games on Switch, is to go with the Turrican Anthology game collections. Between the 2 collections, you're getting more games and access to more ports, instead of just 4 games in the Flashback collection, as well as more features, including lots of quality of life features, like in-game maps, the ability to zoom out and view the entirety of each game's stage at once, multiple control schemes to choose from, including ones that take advantage of modern controllers, cheats, as well as it includes neat bonuses, like multiple variations of each game's soundtrack, visual options for each game, and complete scans of each game's manual, including multiple regions, not just the manuals from the North American region. These collections have a lot of stuff, and these collections are also the best ways to play these games in the modern era. If you're a Turrican fan, consider these anthology collections a must-own. Turrican Anthology Volume 1 has the Amiga versions of Turrican 1 and Turrican 2, as well as Super Turrican from the Super Nintendo, and the Director's Cut version of that. It also has the Score Attack version of Mega Turrican from the Sega Mega Drive. Turrican Anthology Volume 2 has the Amiga version of Turrican 3, Mega Turrican from the Sega Mega Drive, and the Director's Cut version of that, as well as Super Turrican 2 from the Super Nintendo, and the Score Attack version of Super Turrican. Turrican Anthology collections are on sale for 80% off, which is their biggest discount yet on the eShop. That means both volumes are just $6.99 each on the US eShop. Spelunker HD Deluxe is a remake of the classic 8-bit game. The gameplay of Spelunker is simple. Players must navigate caves while dealing with or avoiding enemies like bats and ghosts, as well as avoiding traps and other dangers while trying to secure lots and lots of treasure. The remake features new graphics of course, but also includes multiplayer with local play supporting up to 4 players, and online play supporting up to 6 players, which is a neat addition. Beyond that, it includes multiple different modes, adventure mode, competition mode, championship mode, and the random, aka roguelite mode called Infinite Cave Neo. You can also switch to the classic 8-bit graphics at any time you wish. For $2.99, 88% off on the US eShop, I think this is a no-brainer if you like classic, challenging games. There's a lot of content here for the price. The discounted price is also the cheapest this game has ever been on the eShop. Rainbow Cotton on Switch is a HD remaster of the Sega Dreamcast game, which is something I never thought would happen. This is a 3D rail shooter, a sequel of sorts to Panorama Cotton for the Sega Mega Drive. This release here features a full English localization for the first time ever, with graphic enhancements, enhanced controls, and a 2-player mode too. It's on sale for its biggest discount yet on the eShop, 75% off until December 7th, which means it's just $4.99 on the US eShop. I reviewed this game on the channel some time back, and I got a link there in the top corner of this video for those who want to check it out. Over Horizon, Steel Empire is a retro collection that has 3 notable shoot-em-ups from yesteryear. Over Horizon for the NES, which is one of the very best 8-bit shooters ever. The top-notch sequel, Steel Empire, for the Sega Mega Drive, as well as the Game Boy Advance version of Steel Empire. This collection doesn't go on sale too often, but it's finally on sale again, and the sale it has features a good-sized discount, 40% off for the first time ever. It's $8.99 on the US eShop. The first 2 Irem collections are on sale for their biggest discount yet, 60% off, which means both collections are on sale for $9.99 on the US eShop. The first collection contains the shoot-em-ups Image Fight with its arcade, NES, and PC Engine versions represented in the collection. It also has the PC Engine CD version of Image Fight 2, as well as the arcade version of the game X Multiply. The second collection has both the arcade and Super Nintendo versions of Gun Force, as well as the arcade game Gun Force 2. Both games are run-and-gun style games. The final game in the second collection is the vertical shooter Air Duel. While I'm not a big fan of the first collection, I personally do not care for the Image Fight games. The second collection I can definitely vouch for, especially for the simple fact that it includes Gun Force 2, a really awesome arcade game that is similar in style to the Metal Slug games. In fact, most of the developers that made that game went on to form the Nazca Corporation, a game developer who developed many of the Metal Slug arcade games. Feel free to check out my review of the second collection on the channel, where I dive into each games of that collection, and you should see a link to that in the top corner of this video. Bobble for Friends, The Baron is Back is a pretty solid entry in the Bobble series. You can play alone or together with up to 3 other people in local co-op as you jump, blow bubbles, and pop them through 200 new stages in total. That's a lot of stages. Also included is the original arcade game as a neat bonus. It's on sale for its biggest discount yet of 70% off. It's $11.99 on the US eShop. I'm a big fan of the Puzzle Bobble series, probably a bigger fan than most. I've played most of the games in the series, and I can say for the most part, the 90s era was the best era for the series. Sadly, for the longest time, most of the newer entries in the series have not done well or been up to snuff. Puzzle Bobble Everybubble is an exception to that. It's a really good, modern entry in the series, where the gameplay is just as good as those earlier entries. It's a bit of a return to form. It's got a nice amount of content too, with a good-sized story mode, multiple multiplayer modes for both local and online play, including co-op options, as well as multiple costumes and characters to obtain, and it has a really fun bonus game called Space Invaders vs. Puzzle Bobble, which can be played with other people as well. If you're a fan of Puzzle Bobble, or just looking for a good puzzle game for Switch, then you should consider this a must-own. The sale has it marked down to $19.99 on the US eShop. Sega has a lot of games on sale for Black Friday on the eShop. Here's what I consider to be the highlights. Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, is on sale for 30% off on the eShop for the first time ever. This deal is for both the original Switch and Switch 2 versions. Now note, there isn't a free upgrade path from Switch 1 to the Switch 2 version, so be mindful of that when choosing which version to pick up. If you're curious about the game, there is a free demo on the eShop that allows you to play the game from the beginning up to the beginning of Chapter 2, and progress from the demo does carry over to the first game. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut for the Switch 2 also gets its first sale, 30% off for the first time ever on the eShop. That means it's $34.99 on the US eShop. The Director's Cut edition includes new cutscenes and backstories on key moments and characters of the game. Source includes the Red Light Raid online multiplayer mode, where you can choose from 60 different playable characters and play with others to take on hordes of enemies. The Persona Collection contains the HD remasters of Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden, as well as it has Persona 5 Royal. The bundle is on sale for 60% off, $35.99 on the US eShop. You're looking at well over 300 hours of gameplay across those 3 titles, which is pretty insane. 3 wonderful JRPGs, it's a hell of a value there. The Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection, which contains HD remasters of the first 3 Etrian Odyssey games from the DS, is also a hell of a value, and it's even cheaper during the Black Friday sale. It's $31.99 on the US eShop. That's much less than what one of the games by itself usually goes for. If you like old school dungeon crawlers, then you'll love this bundle. The games in this one are some pretty good ones. Demon Slayer, The Hinokami Chronicles 2, is on sale for 30% off. It's the biggest discount yet for the game on the eShop. That means it's $41.99 on the US eShop. For those who don't mind physical, Target plans to have this game on sale for $35 via their Black Friday sale. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance Digital Deluxe Edition, which includes all the DLC, including the bonus Demon subquests, is on sale for $27.99 on the US eShop. At 60% off, it's the biggest discount yet on there. If you don't want the Digital Deluxe Edition stuffs, the Standard Physical Edition is expected to be on sale for $20 at a lot of places for Black Friday. Music game Samba de Amigo Party Central's Digital Deluxe Edition is on sale for 75% off for Black Friday on the eShop. This edition includes the Sonic DLC pack, as well as the Sega Music pack, and a bunch of costumes of Sega characters, including Sonic. It's far cheaper to get this game with the DLC this way versus paying for it separate. Sonic X Shadow Generations Digital Deluxe Edition for both the Switch and Switch 2 gets its biggest discount yet on the eShop, 50% off. Note, there is no free upgrade to the Switch 2 version, so choose wisely. The Digital Deluxe Edition includes the game, of course, plus the Sonic 3 movie pack, an extra background music pack, a digital art book, and soundtrack, as well as some stuff like extra skill points to use and an additional skin. Finally, to cap off the Sega stuff, there's Sonic Racing CrossWorlds Digital Deluxe Edition for the original Switch, and it's on sale for 30% off. This normally goes for $80 on the US eShop, so at $55.99, you're saving like $24 on there. This includes the game and the Season Pass, which has the Sonic Prime Character Pack, as well as 6 other content packs that's going to be released over the upcoming months. This includes guest characters, vehicles, tracks, emotes, and it's not just Sega stuff. It's stuff like SpongeBob and Minecraft. So the content packs could be of anything. If you pick this up for the Switch, you can upgrade the game to the Switch 2 version when it comes out next year for a $10 fee. Konami has games on sale for Black Friday, most notably the Castlevania collections, which has been a minute since these collections have been on sale. Castlevania Advance Collection is a collection of the 3 Castlevania games that originally came out for the Game Boy Advance: Circle of Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, and Aria of Sorrow, which the last game makes the collection worth picking up for that alone. Beyond those three, it also includes the Super Nintendo game Castlevania Dracula X. This collection contains the Japanese, American, and European versions for each game, new quality of life features, gallery stuff, and more. It's on sale for 40% off, which means it's just $11.99 on the US eShop. The Castlevania Dominus Collection contains the 3 DS entries in the series, Dawn of Sorrow and Order of Ecclesia. It also has a redesigned version of the arcade game Haunted Castle. Again, this has quality of life features, a gallery mode, and much more. It's on sale for 30% off, $17.49 on the US eShop. Additionally, for North America, there's a Castlevania Collections bundle. It contains both previous collections that I just talked about, as well as the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. The bundle by itself allows you to save some money versus buying the collection separate, but it is on sale for 45% off, so it is an even better deal now, as it's less than $32 on the US eShop. With this bundle, you can save a lot of money this way if you want all 3 collections. If you just want to pick up the Anniversary Collection by itself, it's on sale for $7.99 on the US eShop. The Anniversary Collection contains the 3 NES entries, the games for the Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo, plus it has the first 2 Game Boy games, as well as Kid Dracula for the Famicom. It also has all the Japanese versions for the games included. Gradius Origins Collection features 18 versions across 7 arcade titles in the Gradius series, as well as it includes the first ever appearance of Gradius 3 AM Show version on a home console ever. It has Salamander 3, 5 versions of Gradius, the Japanese and North American versions of Salamander, the Japanese version of Life Force, 4 different versions of Gradius 2, 4 different versions of Gradius 3, and the Japanese version of Salamander 2. In addition to all these games, this collection has a boatload of quality of life features, new easy and invincible modes for the games, a training mode for a number of the games included, online leaderboards, loads of gallery mode stuff, and you can adjust the dip switch settings for each of the games, and honestly, there's lots more. It's the ultimate Gradius collection, and a must-own for any hardcore shoot-'em-up fan. This collection gets its first discount on the eShop, 30% off. That means it's $27.99 on the US eShop until December 4th. Fans of JRPGs, there's a few noteworthy ones on sale for their biggest discounts yet for Black Friday on the eShop. The Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak is on sale for 40% off, which is the biggest discount it's received on the eShop yet, which means it's $35.99 on the US eShop. The sequel, Trails Through Daybreak 2, is on sale for 30% off, which is its biggest discount yet on there for that one as well. It's $41.99 on the US eShop. The Lunar Remastered Collection, which contains remasters of Lunar, The Silver Star Story, and Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, is on sale for the first time ever, with a discount of 20% off. That is the cheapest I've seen this game go for anywhere. That includes the physical edition. This remaster has enhanced graphics for the games, enhanced audio, but it also sports a number of quality of life improvements too for the games. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle Gold Edition, which includes all the DLC, plus that wonderful Donkey Kong expansion, is on sale for 80% off, which is the biggest discount it's ever gotten on the eShop. It's a wonderful strategy game. I know that Ubisoft developed it, but it does feel like a first-party game anyway. And for $11.99 on the US eShop, this is one hell of a deal. For this on Switch 2, the game does get boosted to 60 FPS with reduced load times, and it looks and plays fantastic on there. And that's all done without any update or anything. MLB The Show 25 gets a discount of 85% off for Black Friday. It's $8.99 on the US eShop. I really can't imagine this game getting any cheaper than that. It's pretty insane. If you don't pick it up right now, it might, and I stress, might, go on sale again for the Christmas holiday. But after that, just like the previous games in the series on Switch, you will probably not see the digital edition go on sale ever again. And let's be honest, for $9, that's insanely cheap anyway, so if you're even thinking about getting it, you might as well take the dive. Again, you won't get it any cheaper than that. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 gets a Black Friday discount on the eShop, and it's a good size one too. It's the biggest yet for the game, 40% off. It is $29.99 on the US eShop. This deal is valid for the Switch edition and the Switch 2 versions. Note there isn't a free upgrade to the Switch 2 version available as far as I know, so make sure to choose the correct version that you want. Split Fiction gets its first discount yet of 20% off for Black Friday. It's $39.99 on the US eShop. I've heard nothing but good things about this multiplayer game, but be aware that this game cannot be played solo. In order to play this game, you will need to play with another person. It's just like the games It Takes Two and A Way Out, which are very similar to this game. Luckily, you only need to have one copy across two systems. For the other person, they can download their free Friends Pass to play with you, and you can do it through local or online play. Now let's look at the highlights of some stuff Capcom has on sale for Black Friday on the eShop. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is an HD remaster of a DS game of the same name, where you play as a recently deceased detective who must use his ghostly powers to interact with objects, as well as save people too, all while trying to recover his memories, as well as trying to figure out why he died in the first place. The gameplay in this one is broken up between two parts. First half has you gathering clues, somewhat similar in a way to the Ace Attorney series, and the other part has you saving lives through your actions and solving puzzles with his ghostly powers. The Switch version here has remastered visuals, a remastered soundtrack, as well as adds new bonus features like a gallery mode. This was a great game on the DS that was kinda under the radar when it got released back then, but I'm so happy they brought it back for more people to experience through this HD remaster. If you like mystery games, puzzle games too, then check this one out. It has a demo in the eShop too that I highly encourage you to download and check out. It's on sale for its biggest discount yet of 67% off on the US eShop. That means it's just $9.99 now on the US eShop. The Ace Attorney Anthology bundle contains two collections in one. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, which has the first three Ace Attorney games, as well as it contains Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, which contains the later three games in the main series. The Anthology collection is on sale for $26.99 on the US eShop. Both collections are terrific, and with this deal, you're basically getting both collections for less than what one collection would typically go for. The Capcom Fighting Collection 1+2 bundle is an excellent bundle of two awesome fighting game collections. The first Capcom collection contains 5 games in the Darkstalkers / Vampire Slayers series, as well as it contains Hyper Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Gem Fighter Mini-Mix, Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness, and Red Earth. The second collection has Capcom vs SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium 2001, which that game alone is worth the price of admission in many fighting game fans' eyes. But it also contains Capcom vs SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, both Power Stone games 1 and 2, Project Justice, Plasma Sword, and finally it contains Capcom Fighting Evolution, which that last game, it kinda stinks. But that's fine, because the rest of the games are freaking awesome, they're worth getting. You're getting a tremendous value with this bundle, with all the games included. Plus it has achievements to unlock, online multiplayer, training modes, gallery, museum stuff, and all that. The bundle is on sale for 55% off, which means it's less than $40 on the US eShop. For fans of Street Fighter games, there is the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, which contains 12 games, from the very first Street Fighter to the various Street Fighter 2 entries, and the Super Street Fighter 2 versions, as well as it includes the Street Fighter Alpha games, and the Street Fighter 3 games. It's just $9.99 on the US eShop via the Black Friday sale. Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess for the Switch 2 is an action strategy game where players take control of So, a warrior tasked to protect a divine maiden named Yoshiro, who must purge and cleanse villages of quote-unquote defilement as well as bring peace to Mount Kafuku. The gameplay in this one is a mix of real-time strategy and tower defense gameplay. During the day, So must explore and rescue villagers, while also setting up contraptions for use at night. At night, evil spirits, called the Seethe, will invade villages, and as So, the player will need to ally with saved villagers in order to defend against the attacks from the Seethe. Players can strategically place villagers in positions to defend the village, as well as assign them with different roles to aid in the defense. Additionally, players can equip So and the villagers with masks to grant them divine powers. It gets its first sale on the eShop 25% off, which means it's $29.99 on the US eShop. A pretty good discount for a rather new Switch 2 game. Finally of note, I do want to point out that Capcom has its 99-cent sale for the Capcom Arcade Stadium apps going again for Black Friday. There's a ton of arcade games available for each app to choose from. This is good if you just want a few of these games, but if you find yourself going through each app's list and seeing a lot of games that you like, then it's best to hold off for the bundle sale, which should be going live again sometime before or during the Christmas holiday. Additionally, a lot of the fighting games in this collection are available in the Capcom Fighting Game Collection, so be aware of that if you don't want to double dip. Kicking off the Nintendo first-party deals for today is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is an awesome RPG. It's on sale for 30% off on the North American eShops. On the European, UK, and Australian eShops, it's on sale for 33% off. This is one of the few first-party games that's actually on sale in most regions for Black Friday. In addition, the expansion pass, which has only been on sale one other time ever, is on sale for Black Friday for 30% off. If you've been waiting for a discount for that, now's the time, because who knows when Nintendo will ever do it again. This adds a boatload of content to the game, including new items, accessories, and characters, but it also adds the Future Redeemed story scenario, which is worth the price of it alone, as well as it adds a challenge battle mode, and lots more. This is a pretty packed expansion, and you're getting your money's worth, I'm sure, especially with the discount. Paper Mario: The Origami King is on sale for 33% off on the North American eShops for Black Friday. While Thousand Year Door gets most of the love in the series, I still think Origami King is a damn fine game, and it's one worth playing. I think it's a pretty good game in the series. Speaking of Thousand Year Door, the physical edition will be on sale for $29.99 here in the US starting on November 23rd, so make sure to look out for that. For those wondering about the physical first-party deals for Black Friday, I have a video on the channel that tells you all the details about that, as well as some other deals. And there should be a link in the top corner of this video, as well as I will have a link down below in the description box for those who want to check it out. The digital edition of Luigi's Mansion 3 is on sale for 33% off via this Black Friday sale. This is one of the Switch 1's best looking games, as well as one of the best games for the system. I personally really love this game. Plus it has a nice multiplayer mode too, which if you really like, there is a multiplayer DLC pack for it that adds new costumes, floor themes, and mini games, and it's pretty inexpensive, especially since it's on sale for 30% off for Black Friday. The physical edition of this game will also be on sale for $39.99 starting on November 23rd. Splatoon 3 is on sale for 30% off on the North American eShops for Black Friday, but for those in the US, the better deal is the physical sale that this game will have on November 23rd, as it'll be $29.99 at most major retailers. The expansion pass for this game is on sale for 30% off on the North American eShops as well, and it's actually the first time it's ever been on sale there. Bayonetta 3 is on sale for 30% off on the North American eShops, and for those who have a Switch 2, I can report that this game does get a nice performance boost on that system. hitting 60 FPS much more often, load times have been reduced, and their dynamic scaling maintains higher resolutions much more often on there. Bravely Default 2 is published by Nintendo on Switch, and for Black Friday, it is on sale. It has a discount of 30% off on the North American eShops. That means it's $41.99 on the US eShop. For those curious about it, there is a demo for the game on the eShop as well. Demon X Machina gets its first sale in a long time. It's 30% off on the North American eShops. That means it's $41.99 on the US eShop. It's been about a year and a half since the last sale. This game has a demo too that you can check out. Progress from the demo can carry over to the main game. This mech game is pretty good, and I think it's much better after it got a bunch of updates. MEO, The Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club, gets a sale for 20% off for the first time ever on the eShop. Nintendo never seems to have the Famicom Detective games on sale, so this is a surprise. Also, the physical edition is on sale with the same discount on the My Nintendo Store website. In fact, a number of physical games of these games that I've talked about today are also on sale on the My Nintendo Store online shop, so that's something to consider if you preferred physical games over digital. Endless Ocean Luminous is on sale for 20% off too. It's $39.99 here on the US eShop. Physical is on sale for the same price on the My Nintendo Store website. Now, I personally haven't played this game yet, so I really can't tell you if this game is good or not. I was a big fan of the ones on the Wii though. Anyone who has checked out this game or has played this game, feel free to share your thoughts on it down below in the comments. And finally, for the North American side, WarioWare Move It is on sale for 20% off, and it's discounted by 30% off on the European, UK, and Australian eShops for Black Friday. The latest game in the WarioWare series focuses on using the Joy-Cons and moving around in a variety of minigames. I'll be honest, it feels very Wii-like considering the amount of movement needed for this game. Now, the next set of first-party eShop deals from Nintendo are exclusive to the European, UK, and Australian eShops for Black Friday. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is on sale for the first time ever on the eShop in those regions. It gets a discount of 25% off. This game recently got a Switch 2 update this past summer that enhances the game for the system. It improves the frame rate to a pretty much locked 60 FPS, while increasing the resolution of the game in docked and portable mode, as well as it reduces the loading times for the game. In short, it's pretty darn good on Switch 2. For those in the US, this game will be on sale in its physical form for $39.99 starting November 23rd. Moving on, Fire Emblem Engage gets a discount of 33% off for the Black Friday sale again for the European, UK, and Australian eShops. It's its first sale in a year. Additionally, the expansion pass is also on sale for 33% off, and this adds a bunch of new characters to play as, at least 10 from what I can tell, as well as a new story scenario, locations, maps, and even new class types. It seems like it has a lot of content in the expansion pass. While the North American eShops get the digital discount for Origami King for Black Friday, European, UK, and Australian eShops have Thousand Year Door on sale for 25% off. For us in North America, we'll have the physical edition for this game on sale for Black Friday. It'll be $29.99 in the US. Now, I don't need to tell you how good this game is. I'm sure by now you've heard that many consider this to be the best Paper Mario game ever. The Switch version, while it is 30 FPS instead of 60 FPS, it does have a number of new features, from new badges, art and sound galleries, visual and sound enhancements, as well as a bunch of quality of life features. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes gets a discount of 33% off on the European, UK, and Australian eShops. And a fun fact about this Warriors game, it hits 60 FPS on Switch 2. Found this out while testing the backwards compatibility of Switch 1 games on the new system this past summer. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and the Lost Demon also gets 33% off on the European, UK, and Australian eShops. North American regions, get Bayonetta 3 on discount. You guys get Cereza and the Lost Demon. While it is radically different from other Bayonetta games, I still personally think it's a good game. I actually had a lot of fun with it. There's a demo on the eShop to check out for this one if you're curious. Finally, Nintendo World Championships NES Edition gets a discount of 33% off on the European, UK, and Australian eShops. If you love retro games and chasing high scores and challenges, then you'll probably dig this one. This seems a bit similar in style to the NES Remix games. So if you played those games and you like that, then you'll probably like this one.